Well, one thing is for sure, there is never a dull moment in the life of an Apple developer. And if you recently got one of these emails, hint, if you do .NET for iPhone, you probably did, then there is something which you need to do very urgently. The reason for this is that if you don't fix the problem now, you need to fix it the next time when you update your build. So, please, if you have an iOS app in the store, now is the time to take care of this ITMS problem or the privacy header problem. So, basically, this message, you get it whenever there is a problem with your API declaration. And you see here, you get one of these ITMS for every missing API. And here you get the categories. And basically what happened was, it's described here on this website, that in the future, Apple will require you to make an additional declaration for every particular API which you use. And you see here, this is, for example, the list of the APIs. And then here you've got these kind of codes which declare why you need it. And you see it's about system, time, active keyboards, user defaults. Interestingly, nothing about Bluetooth and the like. So in the case of my application, even though there is Bluetooth used also, if you check again the email, there is nothing about Bluetooth. So it's just about some system APIs. And yes, if you get this email, it is a red alert because future builds will no longer be accepted. And while Microsoft does provide quite detailed information also on the Apple Privacy Manifest problem here, in practice the situation is quite simple. Basically what we need is to create a new file which has got this name here. So we copy it. Now we go here into our iOS. This connection to the Mac is now not even so important. What is important is that we go here. So, and now in the next step, we right click this here. We say add a new element. And now we need to find an empty file or a playlist file. So we can probably check here, but there is not much here, iOS, but no, we don't need that. So we just create a stink normal text file, like here. We give it the name, we click add, and now here we have the file. And then we go here, we just copy this code from Microsoft, we put it here, and we click save. And you see, this is just a stink normal text file, basically, where we have now added the XC privacy file. And now, in the next step, here we need to create some kind of stupid build action, like so. We save it, because we next have to modify this file here by the hand. And here we now have a CS profile, and we have to edit this CS profile. And for this, of course, first we have to close the Visual Studio, which take a little bit of time. And then we use something else, like a Visual Studio Code. And we need this here, this bit of code here. We copy it. Then we have to find ourselves here the project node somewhere. We find it here. Here we have the item group which is already made for us, and now we put in here the more complex item group. You see here, this one. And now we say save. And then it is already time to return here into our BobSync solution. And now we see here all these advanced options which we don't however need. What we now need next is we need to connect again to the Mac. And now we are connected to the Mac. Now we can close, and now it is important that we make another release of the application. So we see here, this is the publishing view, but we don't need that. First, we go again here into the properties. MAUI shared, and now we increment this here to 7. We save it, and now we go here. Now we go again to publish, and now we see it is trying to once again bundle this for publication for iOS. And yes, there is another new problem. When we go here into validate, we try to validate or we try to distribute, and you see here in both cases we get the warning, no App Store Connect access for the team. And now we see here, this is a bit strange because everything is in place. And yes, quite incidentally, what is also often recommended as a workaround is that you quit Xcode and that you reopen it. And yes, sometimes you have to go here also, right click it, force quit it, ignore it, restart it. Then you go back into Organizer and you again click Validate. And yes, usually now it works. And you see it is now performing this relatively complex validation, checking all of it. And you see here, this build was successfully validated. And if I now take the older one and I try to validate it, we see that strangely this also passes the validation. So what's important, the only way to test it is to actually distribute it. And we see here, we distribute it into the App Store. Now it gets signed. And now it's getting uploaded into the Apple backend as always. And yes, we see here that the new build is being processed, and then we try to publish it like we would always publish it, like we've done in all the other channels, videos here on this channel before. And yes, the important result is this. If we see here that our app has been approved for test flight beta testing, then we know that the work on the manifest has been completed. And so then this is another Apple problem which we managed to defeat for now. And yes, with this, for now, it is over. The app is back in the store. We didn't get any more such emails. So yes, I know it's annoying, but just like with every other religion, sometimes you need to do some service to your priests, and now it's time for a little bit of Apple attention. In the meantime, all the best of luck, and don't let Apple development get you down.